Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Gao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the inside. Now we have just passed the 1st of November. Well, usually in the past, November, usually they will have something, a new policy will be announced. Unfortunately, we have waited for 24 hours and it seems to me there is nothing yesterday being announced. Perhaps next week they will have it out. Just don't know, you know, our government is always like this. They don't give you a review of what they're gonna do, and they never set a specific date, not until they just came out and then announced it. So that's just how the Australian government works. I assume that they it's the same for a lot of other government sectors around the world. However, we're gonna update you with some media news out there of the week. Just check out what's actually going on, and obviously by late of this year, there's only going to be 2 months to go. There's going to be skills demand visa, as you know, they plan to be announced by end of this year, and also the national innovation visa. Don't know about the point test system, but hopefully they all came out in these 2 months. That will be extremely exciting. Anyhow, let's just go through some news that we have received this week. Okay, so one is from the Guardians, talking about the Australian construction industry. It's actually suffering, obviously, after COVID, with the inflation rise, increase of the construction materials. Now, a lot of, as you know, a lot of builders, construction company, developer that has went under or gone under, or bankrupt, or been under administration. That means they just ran out of money. So the construction industry is calling for skill migration. It's just you know, hilarious, isn't it? They a couple of months ago, and I mean the opposition parties, or whoever's not Labour Party, they all, especially on the far right. I mean, there's nothing wrong, and I don't have anything towards the far right, but they all came out and say, "Oh, the housing crisis is caused by the migrants." Now, isn't this a joke? So the construction industry now needs the migrants. Now, if you're being, you know, I don't know, they try to be so, you know, not welcoming the migrants. I mean, they really need to adjust their attitude, shouldn't they? If you, or they may just came out, oh, they just, the Labour didn't manage the migration properly. Well, have had the Liberal National Party, they were the former ruling parties for Australia. Had they managed the migration well? Probably not, didn't they? So that's another thing that we really need to think about. Sometimes it's all the politician talking about crap. So anyhow, they are the shortage of tradies now. It's, first of all, if you want to become a tradie in Australia, you got to study a vet courses, right? Now the vet courses to get a student visa, extremely hard. So previously they have been relying on a lot of these perhaps international students, working holiday makers. Not too sure how they're gonna manage to sponsor a tradie from. I know there has been sponsored tradies, but the way how it works, it's just not enough and not attractive enough in order to allow the business owners of construction company developers to actually do that. So anyhow, I'm not going to go into detail of what they're talking about. Basically just nagging, telling about how the government has failed this and failed that, blah blah blah, and we already know all that. So it's just hilarious. They had started talking about the housing crisis caused by the migrant, even cutting the international student number with cap. And now we're going to move into the next news. It's actually about the international student cap. So from Koala News, there has been a PRISMS update. Now, what is PRISMS? PRISMS is a system it's a portal between the education providers and immigration. So every education provider, once they want to issue an offer or confirmation or enrollment to allow a student to come abroad, coming to Australia, they require to go into this PRISM system and then to just punch in the name, passport detail, and whatever the course they study, and there will be a link, a reference number in order for the student to actually apply for visa. So that's the PRISM system. So PRISM system updates signal readiness for January implementation of provider limits. Now, obviously, there's some detail and fact sheet there, but what does this tell us? Now, this tells us that the student cap will continue and they will implement it. So there has just been so many talks about how the government, there is still a way to stop them doing this. However, from my view, first of all, yes, there were too many ghost colleges. There were almost 4,000 RTOs out there. So really need to hunt them down. A lot of them is, I even saw one this week. They are giving out, Black Friday discount. I never knew an education company, an education provider could have a well, they can, but it's just, it's just weird, isn't it? You never thought a school came out to do a discount on Black Fridays. Will they do a Boxing Day then? Will they do Easter holiday discounts or whatever it is? It's not a goods. It's not something that you buy and bring home and can it's not a goods. Education is a service. It's something that teaching intellectual stuff to students. How do you do there's nothing wrong to do discount, but putting discount on this, it's just awkward. It's like, anyhow, you know what I mean. Okay, the next one, it's from the Koala News as well. New fact sheet confirming provider closure transfer exempt from caps. Now, what does this mean? Now, that means if a school go under, collapse, bankrupt, close down, okay, then the transfer of the students or the victim, okay, to another school, that it will not affect the caps or the student caps that they're gonna implement on from January. So what does this mean again? It means the student caps will definitely be implemented and will go ahead. So that's exactly what they're gonna do. And we saw the news from Canada, they're gonna cut down a lot of migration number as well. So these are all the indication that the things will continue. They're not just gonna back down on this. So anyhow, that's just some news updates. So yes, housing crisis, but housing crisis still need the migrants, right, to fix it. Now, so don't talk down on migrants and don't start all those bad wording or descriptions on migrants. And the cap on students will definitely continue, so that you can see there's more implementation, effective implementation is going on. They're gonna implement if school closures, because that's their aim. They're gonna shut down more ghost colleges. Okay, and the exemption on the student cap if they transfer, and the readiness of the PRISM system. So that tells us that everything is on the track. Anyway, should you have more questions or query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.